Okay guys, here we go. Let me fix this up a little bit maybe. Ooh, this is going to be a rough one today. This is going to be a rough one. Tourmalet, OG Alpine climb, first discovered, first ridden, I should say, 1910, Tour de France. Looks like we got some hitters here. Joel Noguera, dude, so glad you made it with us. Marco Filippi, level 19. Penelope, pit stop 34. Peter Pielik, Hasgier, and do I have a flat? Steven Cycle should be getting in here any second. Maybe he's going to join us late because we're leaving at 10, folks. We're leaving at 10. Let's make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Let's get it, riders. Let's get it. This is going to be a grind. It's going to be an absolute grind here. So Joel Noguera is here. Hopefully Joel used my code. Colin1M. Steven Cycles just jumped in. He was a bit late. Steven was doing a warm-up over on Zwift. So here we go, folks. Ooh, look at this guy beside me here. Hasgier, he's on a TT bike. Well, I guess he's going all out. I guess he's going all out. Col du Tourmalet from La Sainte-Savière, France. 1,436 meters of climbing. Woo! Got Joel right here with me. This is nothing for Joel, I think. I wonder if this is Joel's... Well, yeah, he's level 1. This must be his first time ever on ROUVY. Dude, I appreciate you joining me here. You're a hitter over on the SRC, my whoosh stuff. So really cool to have some people that are willing to try something different. So for all you riders here, I'm hoping some new people are going to see this. I hope I got good volume here. Let's take those off for a second. I got my headset in. So this is a group ride. I didn't set it up as a race, which means if you look at beside my name, there's a little star. A black star within the yellow bubble. If you stick near me, all good. If you fall back, you'll get a little bit of assist. I didn't really mean to set it up this way. I just did. Because I do a Tuesday, Thursday group ride on ROUVY, and it was probably the last thing I ever set up. So just remembered it. Then I thought, well, maybe we'll have some more people join us who might want a bit of help getting up the hill. And I'm okay with that. I plan on this being around 2 hours. And yeah, people are probably wondering, hey, where's the live stream? I want to kind of do this old school, where I put some audio overlay later. But this I'll do. I'll talk about it while I'm here and when I'm sitting down watching later. This will be a gigantic file. This will probably be like, oh, this one here could be upwards of 30-40 gigs. So I'll do some messing around with it. I really was not ready for this ride today. A little bit under the weather. I can actually, it's coming on now. So, just gotta power through, folks. Power through. Just getting a bit of draft here from Joel. Thanks you, Joel. So you can tell Joel's brand new, level 1. He's on that crappy ROUVY bike. But he's a way stronger cyclist than me, so wow, this looks really good, doesn't it? Let's just pace ourselves. Pace ourselves, folks. Steven, my man, is with me. He's coming up on my left shoulder. Looks like he's on maybe an Amonda. So anyways, good folks, we're doing this ride. Wow, I gotta think how I'm gonna do this video. I've been talking so much already. But we're doing this ride because Steven Cycles was right here helping me do the flight sim video. And we got more coming, folks. We're going to be checking out cool climbs. Because I know about you guys, but when I hear these cool climbs and then I go do them, I can't even relate to it. I'm too busy just dying. So we thought a flight recon with some snazzy, jazzy commentary from yours truly. And then, all right, riders, here I am. So what we're doing here now, folks, guess what? Today's January 15th, Colin, Inside Cycling World. And as you can see here, I've sped everything up at this point. We're going to grind forward a little bit. This is kind of the way I used to do my videos, kind of going more back to a video format versus streaming. And I got some stuff just scrolling across the screen here for you to look at. I was thinking about covering myself up, my cycling self here, because man, you can just see me deteriorate all the way down. It's pretty awesome to watch, actually. Yeah, so Col du Tourmalet. We did this way back. I'm just going to ballpark it, maybe December, somewhere in between the week of December 8th to 13th, maybe somewhere in there. And this has just been sitting on my machine. So at this point, folks, 19.21 kilometers long. I've sped this up 1,000%. That's how much we're going here. This is just to kind of move forward to get to something I want to show you. 1,436 meters of climbing. Remember, this is the OG Alpine Pass from 1910. Before this, all they used to ride for the big climb in every Tour de France was the Ballon d'Alsace. Right here, first year at the Tour de France, 1910. There's more history on that coming later. Generally, it's just a big climb through a broad valley, and it basically averages 7% all the way up. What I thought was really cool about this, and you can see there's not many, we're on one of the switchbacks here, but it's not like crazy switchbacking back and forward yet anyways. It's just a huge open valley, very green, very lush here. We're on the border, we're in the High Pyrenees here. Border between Spain and France is nearby. Yeah, this is a classic, folks. Absolute classic. So what I've done here is I've sped it up quite a bit. Once we take a little side road, a little, if you know what I'm talking about, it's going to slow right back down and we'll get back into more juicy conversation. Yeah, so this is the route. I think this is the first one me and Steven did together. Yeah, it was this one. We did a flight sim video. Steven did all the piloting, captured all the video for me, sent me all the files, threw them on my machine. Then I did some research, things I knew about it already, books I'm listening to, dug into the internet a little bit, and added some commentary. And then it was like, well, now that I've learned so much about it, I really want to ride it. So it took us a while, but we got to it. And it probably took me even longer just to sit down. So to be honest with you here, before I even started doing this audio overlay, I probably put 3 hours into this today already. Believe it or not. Like, I mean, you're going to look at this and go, huh, this looks whatever. Average gradient, 7.4%. That's all it is. I mean, there's some steeper parts right at the very top. But this beginning part is just kind of a 7% grind, is all it is. And as I said at the beginning, I wanted to do a little bit of an audio start because I was so pumped. Steven was there, and Joel Noguera from the My Whoosh World, who I met. He's a Sunday Race Club rider. doing all my audio commentary. I've met a ton of the SRC guys. I'm thinking my turnoff's coming up pretty quick here. You'll know right away because everything is slow right down. I was gonna like cover myself up in my cycling part because I look kind of ridiculous right now, but I got my camera set up for green screen here, so it doesn't really cover it up. You should see two of me. I was going to convert myself right up. You can see I'm messing around my phone, trying to stay busy. I estimated 2 hours for this climb. Basically I find when I do a big climb, I climb at about 800 meters per hour. My VAM, I guess is what you call it. You'll see that Joel and Steven keep coming back for me. These two are definitely way stronger climbers than I am. I think even if I was back at my best cycling, they'd easily outclimb me. I know I'm down quite a bit right now. Spent way too much time doing audio commentary on races, and basically it's taken away from my time reading. That sign looks familiar. I'm looking for it. You're going to see me like making some crazy gestures like this. Yeah, right here. Here it is. I'm pointing. Look here. So guys, what this is here, you're going to see some text going across the screen. The Voix Laurent Fignon. So at this point here, this is the original climb. Now, is it the actual original 1910 climb? I don't know that for a fact. But this is what they call the old climb. And it was so cool that when I scoped through the video, I found it on ROUVY. So whoever filmed it, filmed the real cool part. That road down to the left you see where that cyclist is riding on the road down there, that's the new climb. So that's where the current Tour de France goes up. Remember, this is the most climbed route at the Tour de France, used since 1910. I think they've used it 87 times at this point. So yeah, here we're now on this little tiny skinny road. Could you imagine coming up here? And I don't even know when they switched over to the new road, but I bet you this road was probably even used up until the 80s. I gotta think something like that. So we're on an unmaintained road right now. Check that out. This road is named after Laurent Fignon, two-time Tour de France champion, 1983, 1984. So he went toe-to-toe with like Bernard Hinault, Greg LeMond, all that era of cyclists. At one point too, what's really cool is that all three of them were on the same team. I think it was called Elf Gaetan. Gaetan? I say Gaetan. It just sounds really good, doesn't it? Yeah, all three were on the same team at the same time. And then the super team, La Vie Claire, I think it was called. I think they started in probably 84, maybe 8. Yeah, 84, I believe. Now that was a super team. Bernard Hinault, Greg LeMond, Steve Bauer, Andy Hampsten, like hitter after hitter after hitter. That's just the four of them I can think off my mind right now. Yeah, so like here I'm saying the new road is down to the left of us. So I thought I'd put this text in case, well, I don't know, maybe you hate my voice. Maybe you're trying to fall asleep at night. So at least you can kind of read along. Maybe you're doing something else. So I think I'm going to get back to this kind of style of doing things. See, there's a lot of chairlifts floating around. You'll see me on camera pointing at things. Yeah, and like here I'm saying too, imagine coming up here with, a 200 rider strong peloton. I think the Tour in the old days, they had bigger pelotons, especially because they used to have 9 rider teams. There's 22 teams. That's 18 dudes gone off the road right there. And I think maybe they used to have a couple more teams and they kind of cut it back a little bit. I remember days when I think there was over 200 riders on the road. Again, here too, this is the most used climb at the Tour. Also, don't forget too that it's also used at the Vuelta. They use it quite a bit because you're right on the border here. And a lot of sportifs, Grand Fondos use it. Obviously, on camera right now, I'm rocking out to something incredible in my head. Here's a good point. It's only ever had 3 summit finishes. 1974, 2010, 2019. Usually, it's just up and over the top. I believe this is what it's on the route that they call the Circle of Death. So that's, a collection of routes, a collection of climbs that they take on in one day. And yeah, here it is too. It was used at Stage 7 Tour de France Femmes in 2023. Again, I think they just whipped up and over the top. They would descend. Once you get to the top of the Tourmalet, you just quickly bomb down the other side. So you can obviously climb it from the east or from the west. The east side is actually ranked slightly harder. I think it's ranked as 24th hardest climb in France. The west side, 26th hardest. You'll find the town of Le Mangy. That's on the east side. So that's the town you would actually bomb down into on this route. Okay, a little bit of history here. Alphonse Stennes. He was hired by Henri Desgrange, the founder of the Tour de France, to go out and get some wicked climbs. Like, let's make it impossible. Let's make it super hard. At this point, the Tour de France history, it was all about riding as long as possible. So anyway, Stennes hired a guide. I think his name was DuPont. They jumped in a car from way down the road. They started coming up here. After 16 kilometers, the car got stuck. There was tons of snow. What do? They keep walking. So the two of them, Stennes and DuPont, are walking. They go for about another 600 meters. And his guide says, man, I'm done. I'm not going any further than this. There's a reason for that. This is the last thing he said to him as he kind of basically abandoned Stennes on the side of the mountain. The bears come over from Spain when it snows. So Stennes is just kind of like, okay. Maybe he was just so naive, he kept going. He found another local guide, not a guide, a young kid, but the kid didn't go that far either. He got lost in the dark, took a wicked fall into a creek, and basically crawled out of it and was like freezing to death up there. He's way up top, almost at the top of the Tourmalet. Search parties were sent from the other side because they were expecting him to show up via car. He never did. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, they found him. Fully hypothermic. Wrapped him up, took him down to the other side. So I'm pretty sure it was Le Mangy they came from. There'd be a road coming up the other side there too. Those roads existed. And they weren't even this quality of road back then. It would have been a dirt gravel road. This didn't exist. Even though this is the old part. The next day he informed Desgrange, I think it was by telegraph, prim and proper back in the day. Cross Tourmalet, very good road, perfectly feasible. Like, if that's not an understatement of the year, of the century, I don't know what is. He basically just lied through his teeth and said, yeah, no problem. They rode it in the Tour de France that year. Like, insanity that they did that. I mean, the guy basically was near death at the top. If those search parties didn't go looking for him, maybe he would have died up there. But that's what's kind of kicked off all the huge climbs at the Tour. I thought it was some super cool history. So what we're doing here is we're just cruising up the old climb still. And there's parts where I'm going to bounce around a little bit because the video got pretty long in places. But I'm just trying to show you the scenery, what it looks like up here. What a beautiful climb. And I actually thought I had done this climb. Oh yeah, check this out, on the road. See that? You can back the video up, folks. I was going to pause it there for a second. On the road was Hushovd. You know the name, Tor. Used to ride for Crédit Agricole in his heyday. His name is still painted on the road. So that kind of gives you an idea as to when this road was shut down. That tells me, well, I think Tor was, I don't actually know when he retired, but in his heyday, it was 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there. So were they still on this road up until that point? I don't really know the history of the roads in the area, so I just know they use the new one now. The Tour does not come up here anymore. So remember, this is an unmaintained road. It's not going to be any better than this. So what I think is pretty cool is that, unless someone's playing a prank there, but that would be just like really not a prank, that was paint on the road still there from when the Tour used to come up here. There were other names. I tried to figure them out. I thought I saw one part where it said Edvald. E-D-V-A-L-D. Actually, if you go back to that part in the video, I know it says Edvald. And I'm thinking, Edvald Bosenhagen? Is that him? So he was another big sprinter in the day. Obviously, I'm rocking out again here. Don't ask me what I'm doing. Just kind of getting fruity in the head up here. Again here, unmaintained road. It's just going to deteriorate over the years. So if you're in the area and you get a chance, you should be riding this road here. Maybe they will maintain it at some point. So folks, what I did here was I'm bouncing ahead. The views, yeah, like I've seen this climb called the Green Monster at times. There's a reason for it, right? All that green, very lush. And take a look at the roads here on the left. I would not want to be bombing down here on this 7-8% gradient, hitting those little potholes and ripped up surface. So what I did here was I'm just slowly bouncing ahead feel the sun. I can feel it right now. They're just basking in the sun, riding through the little water flows. Again, take a look at the road on the left here. So if you can and you're in the area, ride the road. It may get to a point where there won't be money to go back up and patch it up, but I don't know. They like their history here. I'm sure someone will put the money together and start patching that road back up. But leave the paint. Leave the paint on the roads, guys. So this is an interesting part here. Pretty steep here where we're coming back on. This is the junction where we come back onto the new road. And you can see here, take a look at my camera. I am just drenched. And that there was a sign for me to say we're coming back onto the new road. I spent a lot of time looking at the video, tracking the map, looking at Google Maps. There's actually a huge car park area down below. What's the ski area called? I think it's actually Barèges is what they call it. Barèges, in that area there. That's where we connected back on. You can see that totally on air photos. You can find that road, the Bois Laurent Fignon, on the air photos quite easily. Joel Noguera just up the road. And again, shout out to these guys. They kept falling back for me. So they're stronger than me. I'd only plan to ride it at like 2.5, 2.6, and at places I'm riding higher than that. So the guys that are falling behind, they're getting a little bit of an assist because we did do this as a group ride. Oh yeah, I'm rocking out again here. I know the camera's not perfect, but hopefully this camera's a bit better on me. And you can just see my hair. Look how dark it looks. Just saturated here. Going up through the ROUVY banners. Yeah, it just keeps going. So again, gigantic climb. Not switchbacky that much. Although you're going to see at the end that does change. It's just a huge broad valley all the way. And what was really cool is I went back and looked at all my stuff. I looked at my Cols. I looked at the ROUVY stuff. I'd never done this climb, ever. I only did it now because I learned about it on my flight sim video. So go check that video out. You get a better aerial perspective of it. Maybe when you watch that, you're going to be thinking, yeah, I got to check that ride out too. So we're just going to end up skipping ahead here a little bit, folks. You can see there's further on a couple little easier spots coming up. But it just kind of keeps going and going and going. At this point here, we still have over 300 meters of climbing to go. But here I knew I'm going to make this. I will make this. Off the side road. I've got the boys with me. I know Penelope was further back. She was just doing a slower ride further back. She's the yellow dot on the bottom of the screen here right now. But yeah, we got Joel Noguera. We got Do I Have a Flat? This one guy that was on the time trial bike, which would have killed him normally, but because it was a group ride, every time he's behind me, he's actually getting a tow. That's how the group rides work. Good thing to point out too, whilst you're here, is the riders that are ahead, probably once they're about 2 seconds ahead of me, they face a penalty. I never asked them what kind of penalty they had, and Joel Noguera, Sunday Race Club rider, this was his first ride ever on ROUVY to check this out. And I know he messaged me after and he loved it. He loved it. He loved the scenes, the real world routes, the epic climbs. And that's what you're going to find a lot of on ROUVY. All the climbs. I mean, they're not all there, but there's a ton of climbs to do. All the platforms are slightly different, folks. I'm going to start going through and discussing things, what I really like about them, what I think could change about some of them. And maybe I'll just kind of like in my head too, why do they do this way? Oh, that's why they do it that way. There's a reason why they're doing it certain ways. Let me just have a sip of water here, folks. So I'm trying to get on top of my videos. If anyone sees this today, which is January 15th, I've missed my race videos today. I'm so far behind on everything else. I'm going to try a format where probably going to record my videos, even my live races, and upload them as videos. I'm not getting enough views. The streams, I think what happens is, and it's just the way it is. Oh yeah, a little bit of scenery, a little bit of wildlife, folks, if you want to call it that. You tell me, sheep and goats? I'm looking at this going, are these sheep? I think these are goats. I think these are goats first, and then we get sheep. So we got both. I thought I saw horns, but I don't know. These look more like sheep to me, like standard sheep. Mr. Wildlife, Mr. Farmer in the area, let me know. So I just said, yeah, we got them all. We got them all here, folks. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is when I do my race commentaries, I don't know if this is really going to happen. Oh yeah, bouncing ahead again here, getting up into some construction areas. This little waterfall caught my eye. I'm like, you know what? Imagine how clean and pristine that water is. Like, that is somewhat probably the freshest water you're going to find around right up here. We're getting pretty high up now, folks. On one of the higher roads in France, not the highest, that's for sure. There are higher. And actually, as we're climbing here too, I'm actually looking for the observatory that's up top. Didn't actually see it. I mean, maybe I will now. Roads get pretty rough here. There's so much construction going on. Oh, I think it might be up there. It might be there. Look at me. I'm trying to peek down to see up. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life, folks? Yeah, I wanted to catch this around these bends. It really steepens up. And then this one here, it's like, is this the world's longest switchback? So just mark that point. I'm just like, okay, we're going to ride. We'll start switchbacking up soon. But not really. So down to the right here, that's the direction we kind of came from, through that valley system. And I'm sure, well, I'd have to figure it out. Back in that direction over to the right of me. Actually, you can see the road down below us right now. Look at it. There's the road down below us. And so then it would kind of veer off to the right of the screen down that huge valleyway system. So yeah, when this was filmed, that's the hard thing about doing these videos for these films, is that construction. And actually, might have been a good time to do it, actually, now that I think about it, because most people in the area would be like, oh, there's construction up there. Let's take the other way around. That's the beauty of this part of the world. There's roads everywhere. There's probably a quick little way to scoot around somewhere else. For the video, though, it might have been perfect. Because this road, I'm sure, is shut at this point here. Why? Because there's an excavator sitting in the middle of the road. And there's no flagman to mark it. So I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like, we got to ride through this? So they let the guy in on his bike camera, moped, I would imagine. That's what I'm guessing. So even here, too, I just want to point out, too, this is slightly sped up, just so you know. I think I'm riding it here at 150%. So, slightly sped up. You can see it on my legs a little bit, but you can tell I'm struggling here too. Like, look at my my cadence. My cadence is like 45-50 through here. I don't have any lower gears. Here I managed to pick it up. It went down to 6%. So, cadence popped up. And then as we start climbing, my cadence just comes down. So yeah, look at me here, 50s. Oh, but I'm rocking. I'm rocking, folks. What do you think I'm listening to? Yeah, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, one of those. And the switchback just keeps going. Just goes and goes and goes. So again, we came from, the road is down below us here. Actually, I think I can see a road down there too. Yeah, you can see roads down there. We probably came up those roads right there. Wow, that's so cool. When I get better at this, I'll pause that and I'll zoom in on that. You can see roads down there right now on the side of the screen. That's the direction, that way, that we came from. So trucking ahead, Joel's up ahead of me. So like, Joel is so far ahead of me right now, and Steven, that they would be getting a slight penalty against them. So when you're in a group ride, that's what you need to know, is that, I mean, these guys are strong enough to do it. They might be getting like a 10% penalty. So they're actually putting out 10% less power because they're going ahead. Is try to force you to stick with the ride leader. Look at me. I don't even know what I'm doing there. I'm doing something like this. Yeah, I'm pointing at the screen. Yeah. Somewhere up above us, somewhere up in that direction, up to the left, will be the observatory. And here comes the name right away. Pic de Midi de Bigorre. So it's kind of like a dark zone up here. It's I think it's called like a light exclusion zone. It's very dark. I think it has one of the biggest whatever telescopes in France. Actually, I think it did say it had the biggest. I just don't know what that means by what kind of telescope. And yeah, it just keeps going. It's like a monster switchback here. You can tell we're getting pretty high. I mean, this would have been the summertime, and there's still snow sitting up on these mountains. Just stays there all the time. Never vanishes. Then some more comes back in the winter, and then it melts again. Some sticks around. So yeah, this is a pretty narrow road too. Like imagine two cars. Yeah, not for me. Us drivers here in North America, we just come to a stop and be like, what do we do? Whereas over here, they probably just hang their wheels off the edge. I can see more stuff down below here to the right. So yeah, we've got a series of these coming, folks. We have made another one. I've got a bunch of them in backlog. So I said, I got to start doing my videos. Got to start doing this. Still climbing, still construction. When does it end? When does it end, folks? You can see here now, let me look at my camera. Saturated in sweat. I'm very red too. Just powering through this climb. And you know, I can't say too, I haven't done much climbing lately. I haven't done much 1,500 meter climbs. Just, I guess I know how to do it. So if you haven't done them in a long time, just jump on. Yeah, you're going to suffer. Pretty dusty. You'd be choking on all the smoke here, the dust from these excavators. I just kind of gutted my way up it. Not really in any climbing shape whatsoever. So yeah, you can see by my movements here, it's definitely sped up. But even still, I'm 50s and 60 RPMs most of the time. Checking the phone. That would have been changing some. Now I'm ramping it up, folks. Now, just went straight to Master of Puppets is what I did there. I can guarantee you I did that. I'm trying to get focused. It's going to steepen up again. So we're just in the 7% stuff. And I'm still looking for the switchback turn. Like, huh? I guarantee you a road like this would never be built here. They'd be like, no. We're going to go around. It's going to take like an hour and a half to go around, but you're going to be driving at like 70 miles an hour all the way. 12% grading here, folks. Yeah, and these are really interesting in the area too. You're going to see here. I'm sitting up. I'm having a little look around. Like, what? What's up ahead of us here? Chairlifts? So, yeah, I guess that's probably the faster way to get around. So, I'm sure a lot of people, just for fun, maybe the downhill guys, they take a chairlift from down below. They could probably take their bike all the way to the top and then bomb down. Could be like mountain bikers. There might be mountain bike trails nearby. Road cyclists coming down this hill. So that's probably the way to get around. Still on the same switchback. But here we go, folks. You can see it steeping up around the corner. I think I'm celebrating here because I'm like, this is it. So here is the final switchback we're going around. Oh, I see what they're doing here. They're kind of like, you can see all those little white things there in the ground. It's kind of like to retain the soil. I think they put like a fabric over it, and then it kind of gets like, I don't know, they put like some kind of piling into the ground itself. Here we got like a greenish stuff. Yeah, you can see what I'm saying. The little white things there in that green fabric. Is that what it is, fabric? Yeah, it looks like a fabric to me. Or they painted it or something. Yeah, like this part of the world, gravity, there's going to be rocks all over these roads all the time. And there's cars again now, so maybe they let some traffic through. But, you know, I imagine that, just imagine being the guy filming the route, and there's a million cars up here. Then you can't really film it. Start over. Anyways, riders, we're coming to the end here now. So realistically, there's like this one gigantic switchback. You're at the top. You bomb down to La Mangie on the other side. You can actually get to the observatory at the top, not by road bike. There is a track that goes up. It's all gravel, and you can ride it. I've seen videos of people riding it on mountain bikes, and you could probably do it on a pretty hardcore gravel bike up to a certain point, and then it just gets insane, like the final switchbacks. So I'm looking for it now. I don't know where the observatory is from here, but all I know is right now I see that finishing barrier. That's it. That's the finish. Uh, Gradients here get pretty steep. I'm not actually sure if they are this steep here. 13-14% seems a little bit too much. It might be just the way it was measured on that day and whatever, right? If anything, it gave me an extra hard workout. So here we are, folks. We made it to the top of the Col du Tourmalet. We did it. I gotta thank the boys. I gotta thank Steven first off, and also to Steven. Thank you again. Steven bought me that jersey I'm wearing. He sent it over to me from Scotland. It's Le Col Peacock Blue. It's beautiful, folks. I've only got less than 20 seconds to go here. I'm trying to time this perfectly. Thanks, Steven. Veneer. Yeah, I'm cool, I know. Tried to be real French there. And Joel for showing up and helping me do this ride. See you around, folks. Thanks for watching Inside Cycling World.